All right, thanks a lot, Kent. Really excited. Obviously, the first day of practice. I'm going to start over. I'm going to wait on Sheldon to come on in. We'll let y'all get situated. You're good. You're good. Take your time.
So much for the historic drive.
I heard it.
You found all the flooded streets, Sheldon.
Yes, Highland Road at LSU Drive is underwater.
I'll let y'all get situated. We got plenty of time.
Okay.
All right. No, thank you, Kent. We are obviously really excited about the start of practice today. Still hard to believe 41 days from today is opening night. So great opportunity for us to kick things off this afternoon. Just a couple quick updates. I think it's been a really productive off season for us, starting with the work that was done in the transfer portal this spring, going into our summer and fall player development program, and then the trip to the Bahamas. I think was just a terrific experience for us. Been really pleased with the maturity and work ethic of the team as we intentionally rebuild the roster. We do have 7 players on this year's team in their 4th or 5th year of college basketball, and then 2 additional in their 3rd with Damian Collins and Carlos Stewart. So been really pleased with where we're at this point. From an injury standpoint, I believe the only person, or 2 people questionable today. One is Jalen Reed. Missed quite a bit of time this summer with a knee, now has a foot injury. He's day-to-day. We did miss quite a bit of time this summer. Fortunately, didn't have any long-term injuries, but definitely some little minor nagging things that have taken up some guys' practice time. And then Carlos Stewart has been out over the last week with some tendonitis. Expect him to start working back in today. Jalen Cook had missed about almost 2 months with a hamstring injury. Got back into workouts last week and expect him to be full go today. The update on him, we're still awaiting the word from the NCAA on Jalen's waiver. Obviously, we believe, not going to get into the specifics of it, we believe he has a very good case for immediate eligibility, but that decision will be out of our hands. And with that, love to open it up with some questions. Excuse me.
Now, how far do you think, you've come over the last, even just month when you got back from the Bahamas? I mean, you really started to ramp things up then, I guess, but
yeah, I think
you made the steps.
Yeah, I think the Bahamas trip was just so key for us, the building of the relationships. We still over about 60% of our team is new. So I think that was important. And then just the experience of having those 10 days of practice, then getting to play 3, essentially glorified scrimmages there was really good for us. It's really, because of that, been a shortened preseason as the start date to practice has been moved up into September over the last couple years. And then getting back from the trip, we really gave them the first week to start school to get settled in. And so it was really only about a 4-week preseason. So, but pleased with where we're at. Glad we're working our way back to full numbers from a health standpoint.
I'm not sure if it's too early to be asking this, but just year 2 overall, what are the goals? What are kind of some of the things you're hoping to see in terms of evolution for the program?
Yeah, just want to get better. I mean, want to get better and take these talented players we've been able to bring in and build them into a team and max that opportunity out. Really, for me, I always say it, this is once in a lifetime opportunity to be at a place like LSU. I don't spend any time living in the past of the first year here. I think we all know the circumstances, and now's the opportunity to move the program forward, and really like the experience and leadership that we've seen to this point. When I talk about the leadership, I would say from the returners and Imwani Wilkinson, who got cleared around the 1st of July coming off the shoulder surgery. He's been terrific. Derek Fountain, while he has missed some time due to injury, he's back cleared now, and we know what we're going to get from him every day. Just a warrior, hard worker, all about winning. And then I think our two newcomers, fifth-year seniors, Will Baker and Jordan Wright, two guys who have produced at a high level, both very skilled players, very smart players, and guys we expect to connect the pieces in the locker room.
I don't know if we had a chance to talk to you since the NCAA finally decided on what happened before you got here. Is that a weight off your shoulders now? Can you finally kind of move forward with recruiting and whatnot without people saying, well, what about this?
Oh, it's more than a weight lifted off. I mean, that's a 5-year process. And so I think, we served the vast majority of those penalties in the previous calendar year. And now it's a level playing field. We can move the program forward. We were able to use the transfer portal, I think, to provide some stability within our roster and get some experience and some proven all-conference players from other places. And now it enables us to hopefully go out and recruit the best high school players in the country with all those sanctions in the past.
Warren Wilkinson's one of your most tenured players on this team. How does he truly embody the mindset of this program, and how has he really become a leader within the last couple months?
Well, I think through his actions, he's worked extremely hard. That was really a devastating injury that he had last year, and he tried to play through it, and that speaks to his toughness, but it just got to a point where it was unbearable, and so he had the procedure done. And I just think he's a guy in today's basketball world, that 3-and-D player. He shoots the ball exceptionally well from behind the arc because of his strength and his athleticism on the defensive end of the floor. We'll be counting on him to be a lockdown defender there. And then just a guy who's been a part of winning at LSU before. I think he can carry a lot of those traits into the locker room and show that leadership with our team.
And Jalen Cook coming back from Tulane, coming back to LSU, what has he shown you so far, aside from the injury?
Well, really talented player, especially at the point guard position. A guy who scored over 1,000 points in his career. I think he was the second leading sophomore scorer in the country last season at 20 points a game. But then on top of that, the last 2 years, he's been top 5% in the country in assist rate. So he's a guy who can create his own offense, whether that's one-on-one off the dribble or out of ball screens and handoffs, not only for himself but for his teammates.
A lot of the guys y'all brought in from the transfer portal this year were players with Louisiana ties. How would you just describe the y'all's overall philosophy when attacking the portal this offseason?
Right, I think that was important for us. Tried to steal from some of the other really successful coaches on our campus who had used the portal and used that portal to get some Louisiana talent back home. And so I think in this era of sports where the best way I've heard it described, sometimes players are just renting the jersey. You're looking for people who are going to take a lot of ownership in that jersey. And I think one of the many things that makes LSU such a special place is the pride that your in-state players have in representing not only LSU but the entire state of Louisiana when they put those 3 letters across their chest.
And how much different did the process look like this offseason of rebuilding the roster, getting guys out of the portal compared to your first offseason last year?
Well, the first offseason was just about filling out the roster and having a team. This year we were able to be selective in the portal, really identify players. Our process was we wanted to look to the top 8 or 9 leagues in the country and get some proven commodities, guys who have played at an all-league type level and been on a big stage before, and really pleased that we were able to do that. 5 of the portal guys come from teams that won over 20 games a year ago, so they've seen what that looks like, winning looks like. So we tried to be very intentional there and pleased with where we landed.
I know you can only speak in generals here, but just the effort you guys have put in on the recruiting trail, just how happy are you guys with the way the 2024 class is kind of coming together?
Oh, we're really excited about where we're at, but no one remembers who finishes second. So we really have to do a good job over the next 6 to 8 weeks going into the early signing period of finishing strong. I think to one of the earlier questions about having all the NCAA cloud and sanctions and all that in the past, it gives you an opportunity to really go out and build those relationships. And quite frankly, this is the first high school class where we've gotten to recruit them for the length of time it takes to get high-level players at this level. So excited about where we're at, but really got to do a great job of finishing strong.
Coach, Louisiana's, some of your best basketball players have been going to football in recent years, and there's no offers out for any Louisiana kids. There's been a stretch here that's really not been good. Do you see where there's a light coming, where there's maybe some middle school kids? Because, we've never seen a stretch, there's been this many years without Louisiana prospects with LSU offers.
Well, I hadn't had time to start recruiting the middle schools yet, as we work to get everything rebuilt. But we do have a couple offers out to Louisiana players across the state in the underclasses, and 5 players from the state of Louisiana on our roster, 4 from the portal, and then of course Corey Chest, who was the number 1 player in the state, coming out of New Orleans a year ago. So it's the beauty of LSU. I think you're able to recruit Louisiana really hard, and then also you're the best brand in all the sports, so you can go out and recruit all over the country.
Now, I think you're probably most disappointed last year in your guard play. You only have one of those back this year from last year's team. How have you seen the new guys developing in your system over the summer?
The guard play has been solid. I think you're always looking for guys to take a big jump. I think Trey Hannibal, being a returning guard, is a guy who was an SEC Player of the Week. I think a big key for him is consistency. You have Imwani Wilkinson back from the injury. I think him going into his 4th year is poised to have a good season. Tyrell Ward needs to take a huge jump as we go from year 1 to year 2, and historically players have done that in our program after having a year in the player development system. So, and then through the portal we were able to add transfer guards that I think really talented, provide perimeter shooting from behind the 3-point line, and obviously the ability to take care of the basketball, and then in this league better be able to defend on the perimeter or you're in big trouble. So still a work in progress there, but I'm excited about the pieces we have.
After all these years of competing against Jordan Wright or LSU, how excited is he to come back home and play for LSU?
Well, I think it's awesome. You're talking about a guy who was the SEC Scholar Athlete of the Year 2 years ago. Really is the total package, has his degree from Vanderbilt. Had a great career there, and now here's an opportunity for him to spend his final 9 months in college representing his home state at LSU, and we're counting on him to do a lot of big things for us. Not just his versatility to play multiple spots on the floor, but his leadership and his ability to connect the other players and really unify our team is going to be a big responsibility of his.
Coach, obviously not scared to play freshman. What have you seen from Corey Chest over the last couple months?
Yeah, I think motor, energy, effort, a lot of those things that I believe in. I think they have to be the foundation of your program. And he has really brought that. I'm looking forward to getting out to the floor today. I think you'll see a guy who plays extremely hard, ridiculous athlete, going to make a lot of extra effort plays. And I think he's going to have an opportunity to impact our team, certainly.
With Damian Collins, does he sort of have the athleticism that you guys were looking for in terms of just adding to the front?
He's got more than the athleticism we were looking for. We did our combine testing on Friday, and they had to add to the vertical jump deal for him because he was touching over the backboard. He is an elite athlete, a little bit more skilled than I expected. Can shoot the ball. Has really nice touch around the basket. I think a lot of times the portal gets a bad rap. I think the portal can be really good, and I think this is an opportunity for Damian to have a fresh start. You're talking about a guy who was a top 15 player in America, a McDonald's All-American. Now he can come here to LSU and have a fresh start and establish himself over the next 18 months. So we're very excited about him and the athleticism that he brings, not only offensively, but his ability to hopefully protect the rim on the defensive side of the ball.
Is Mike Williams 100% full?
Yeah, great question, Sheldon. It was a really tough deal. First possession of his college career, he makes a great steal in the Bahamas, and he's going the other way for a breakaway dunk and hyperextended his knee. We were concerned. Obviously, that ended his trip to in the Bahamas, but no structural damage. Was out about 6.5 weeks. with a bone bruise and a mild sprain, and was fully cleared last Monday, full speed ahead. He brings leadership, another hard-playing dude. Really excited about what he's going to bring to us.
With Jalen Cook, you knew that that would be the situation heading into this, that you need the waiver. And could you sort of expand on some of the confidence you have in having him on this team this year?
Well, I mean, that's way out of my hands. I don't have any say in that. I know we're really excited to have him here at LSU. He's a guy who can really shoot it, so skilled, 20 points a game, 5 assists a game a year ago. He's a strong, tough point guard. So as it pertains to the waiver, we'll have to see how that plays out. But, really excited. He's back home at LSU.
Tyrell Ward goes into year 2. Just how have you seen him progress going into?
Yeah, I think Tyrell's a guy who's just loaded with talent. And you and I have talked about this before. A 6'7" guard, last year was probably the toughest year in the history of college basketball for freshmen, because it was the oldest college basketball has ever been, and really with that, a few exceptions, a Brandon Miller, a couple others, you didn't see freshmen have the impact that they have in years past. So I think he's a guy who can really score it. He has great positional size and length and athleticism for the wing spot. And we're going to keep challenging him every day to take a big jump. I think for that to happen, like all players, consistency and continuing to get stronger. And I think he was able to do that through his work with Coach Puckett in the weight room this offseason.
Anything else, folks? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks, Coach.
Make yourself at home at practice.
Yep.